Over 20,000 years ago, our planet was a very different place. Imagine a world locked in a deep, endless winter, where colossal sheets of ice stretched across entire continents. They swallowed mountains whole and carved deep valleys beneath their crushing weight. The lush forests and sprawling grasslands we know today were replaced by a harsh, frozen wilderness. Yet, even in this unforgiving landscape, life didn't just survive, it thrived in the most spectacular ways. Mighty beasts, draped in thick fur and powered by immense strength, roamed the tundra. This was the last ice age, and these are the stories of the incredible animals that lived beneath the frozen sky. Across the vast, windswept plains of ancient Europe, Asia, and North America, immense herds of woolly mammoths moved like living fortresses. Picture these gentle giants, standing over 10 feet tall at the shoulder. Their magnificent tusks, some curling over 10 feet long like massive ivory sabers, were not just for show. They were essential tools for defense and for sweeping away snow to find frozen grasses and shrubs. To survive in a world where temperatures could freeze flesh in minutes, mammoths were wrapped in multiple layers of protection: a thick coat of long, shaggy hair, a finer undercoat for insulation, and a substantial layer of fat beneath their skin. They were the undisputed kings of the tundra, their thunderous footsteps echoing across the icy expanse as they journeyed in search of food. But the mammoths weren't the only titans roaming this frozen world. Alongside them lumbered the woolly rhinoceros, another formidable herbivore built for the cold. With a massive, flattened horn at the front of its snout, it was perfectly equipped to shovel through deep snow and ice to get to the precious vegetation buried beneath. This horn also served as a powerful weapon, capable of deterring even the most determined predators. Imagine this creature, its shaggy reddish-brown coat blending with the frozen earth, its head low as it cleared a path through the winter landscape. The woolly rhino was a testament to nature's ability to adapt, a powerful grazer that carved out its existence in a world of ice. These two giants, the mammoth and the rhino, formed the backbone of the Ice Age ecosystem, their constant grazing shaping the very ground they walked on. Of course, where there are great herds of herbivores, fearsome predators are never far behind. The air itself seemed to crackle with tension as the hunters of the Ice Age began their prowl. A low growl, carried on the frigid wind, could signal the approach of one of the most iconic predators of all time, the saber-toothed cat, Smilodon. This wasn't a sleek, slender hunter. Smilodon was a powerhouse of muscle and bone, built for ambush and overwhelming force. Its most famous feature, those incredible dagger-like canine teeth, could grow up to a foot long. It would use these lethal weapons to deliver a devastating bite to the throat or belly of its prey, which included young mammoths, bison, and giant ground sloths. Imagine the sheer terror of facing such a creature, its jaws agape, ready to strike with lethal precision. But the saber-toothed cat wasn't the only apex predator stalking the frozen plains. It faced stiff competition from another formidable hunter, the massive cave lion. Larger and more powerfully built than modern African lions, the cave lion was a lean, fast, and intelligent predator. Unlike the solitary Smilodon, cave lions likely hunted in prides, allowing them to coordinate their attacks and take down prey far larger than themselves. They were masters of the hunt, their golden brown coats providing perfect camouflage against the dry, grassy steppes. In this brutal world, the balance of life was incredibly delicate. Every single meal was a life-or-death struggle, a dramatic battle fought between giants under the shadow of the great glaciers. The constant dance between predator and prey was the heartbeat of the Ice Age. While the megafauna often steal the show, the frozen world was also home to a diverse array of smaller, yet equally resilient, creatures. Huddled together against the biting Arctic winds stood herds of musk ox, their long, shaggy coats forming a nearly impenetrable barrier against the cold. When threatened, they would form a defensive circle, with their sharp horns facing outward, a formidable wall of fur and fury. Across the snow-covered ground, the landscape was alive with movement. Arctic hares, their coats turning a brilliant white in winter, darted across the drifts, almost invisible against the snow. Lemmings scurried through intricate tunnel systems beneath the snowpack, safe from the freezing winds above. And sly Arctic foxes, also masters of camouflage, patrolled the tundra, their keen senses searching for their next meal. Even the skies were not empty. Birds like the ptarmigan were experts in seasonal adaptation, their feathers changing from mottled brown in the short summer to pure white in the long winter, helping them evade the sharp eyes of predators from above. Life flourished not just on land, but also in the frigid oceans of the Ice Age. Although vast sheets of sea ice covered much of the water's surface, the depths below were teeming with life. Seals and walruses, insulated by thick layers of blubber, thrived in these icy waters. They used their powerful flippers to navigate beneath the ice, hunting for fish and other marine creatures. Walruses would use their impressive tusks to haul their massive bodies out of the water and onto ice floes. Even early species of whales adapted to this cold environment, navigating the maze of floating icebergs, and ruling over these frozen coasts was a familiar predator, the polar bear. Though slightly smaller than their modern descendants, these ancient polar bears were already masters of their domain. patiently stalking seals at their breathing holes in the ice, perfectly adapted to a life on the edge of the frozen sea. But the world of the Ice Age was not destined to last forever. After thousands of years, the planet's climate began to slowly, almost imperceptibly, shift. The Great Cold began to release its grip, and the Earth started to warm. This seemingly small change had monumental consequences. The colossal glaciers, which had defined the landscape for millennia, began to melt. Torrents of meltwater were unleashed, carving new rivers, filling vast lakes, and completely reshaping the continents. As the ice retreated, the environment transformed. Forests began to creep northward, replacing the open tundra and grassy steppes that the great beasts of the Ice Age depended on. The world that had been built for the cold was rapidly disappearing. For many of the Ice Age animals, this change was catastrophic. The very adaptations that had allowed them to thrive in the frozen wilderness now became their downfall. The woolly mammoths, with their heavy coats and reliance on cold-weather plants, found their habitats shrinking and their food sources vanishing. The saber-toothed cats, specialized hunters of large, slow-moving prey, struggled as their traditional targets disappeared. The woolly rhinos, giant ground sloths, and cave lions all faced the same insurmountable challenge. Their world was melting away from beneath their feet. One by one, these magnificent species dwindled, eventually vanishing from the face of the earth, leaving behind only their bones and the stories buried deep within the permafrost. Though these incredible creatures are gone, their legacy endures. The story of the Ice Age is not just a tale of extinction. It's a powerful reminder of life's resilience and the ever-changing nature of our planet. The memory of these magnificent animals lives on in the DNA of their modern relatives. Like the elephants who share a common ancestor with the mammoth, it lives on in the primal instincts of Arctic wolves and musk oxen who still roam the far north. And it lives on in the fossils unearthed from the frozen ground, which allow us to piece together a vivid picture of this lost world. They are a testament to a time when the earth itself was frozen, and life, against all odds, found a way to endure beneath the frozen sky. Thank you so much for joining us on this journey back in time. If you found this story as fascinating as we do, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel for more adventures into the deep past. Let us know in the comments which Ice Age animal you find the most incredible. Until next time, stay curious.